Have you been nice to a trans person today?
Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to react to some more crazy TikToks. I mean, I spend like a little bit of time on there. In fact, I have Seth go and find stuff for me because I can't handle it too much, because I'm just blown away by some of the stuff that's coming out of there. It's, is it mental illness, or are we celebrating crazy at this point? I don't really know, but specifically around trans and non-binary and all of this new pronoun stuff and all of these things, I just find it to be quite frustrating for a person like myself who transitioned such a long time ago just to live in the world and be happy and not make people feel uncomfortable around me. And it's been a journey, and people used to feel very uncomfortable around me early on in my transition, and I would try to avoid that, and I would try not to have people feel uncomfortable around me, because I don't want people to feel uncomfortable around me. And today what I see is, I feel like people want you to feel uncomfortable around them, and they want to push your buttons. And, again, all of this is coming from my own opinion as an elder transsexual person who, again, I'll keep reminding you, transitioned 31 years ago. It's going against everything I know as a transsexual and why I transitioned and why most of the people like myself did transition. So it's why I feel like pushing back on some of this narrative is very important from a perspective like mine, right? If that makes sense. So, and it's no hate. I just want you to understand where I'm coming from. It's no hate at all. It's concern, and it's concern of what we are doing to this particular space and why we are doing it. I don't understand, and why I think I need to have a voice in this, and why many of us people in this community are starting to push back on this, because it isn't healthy and it isn't good for young people to see some of the stuff that's coming out of there. So I picked a couple, I think 3 today, that I feel that need to be spoken about and laughed about. So I'm going to be the guy who does that today. But before we move on, I really do appreciate you all subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate you making comments. Most of all the comments are always pretty amazing. I get a little hate on this particular platform, which is actually refreshing. So I just want to thank you for that. And if you want to hate on me, go ahead. That's all right. I have thick skin, and I can take it. So so with that, let's move forward now and react to this first TikTok that I picked here. I'm sorry. I hope you'll be okay after this one.
Slay.
Really?
Cow. Jiggity, jiggity, jiggity. Have you been nice to a trans person today? Have you complimented someone, been sociable to an LGBTQ? So much of our existence and day-to-day experience can be about feeling isolated and like we're not included.
What?
And you can change that.
You are making
it. You can be kind. People write me all the time, how should I treat trans people? Like everybody else. Be inclusive, be kind, be sociable, be nice. Thanks.
This guy, non-binary, Jeffrey, however he is choosing to identify. Now I guess he's trans. He's speaking, he tends to think he can speak for a community. And I'm going to tell you right now, this guy does not speak for me. Now, I'm not misgendering him, because in my eyes, I do see him this way. And I'm sorry, Jeffrey, but non-binary to me, that's just what I see. Number 1. Number 2, what are you doing? What are you doing? People are nice to us. And you know what? People write me every day as well. And they ask me, why are people doing this in the trans community? Why are people acting this way in the trans community? I remember when trans people just coexisted in the world and didn't want to make problems with everybody, and were just low-key, wanted to coexist in the world and move on. Jeffrey doesn't want to coexist in the world. And Jeffrey's doing some weird shit. We all know that. You can see it. We know it. His creepy vibe is there. What was that? What was that? What are you trying to accomplish, Jeffrey? I really want to know. I would actually love to interview you, Jeffrey. I really would. So if you're watching this, which probably you are, I'd love for you to come on my channel and have a discussion with me about what is your purpose? What is your purpose? I know you think you're a life coach, whatever that means. I know you think you're doing positive, great things for us, but I'm going to push back on you and say I don't particularly think you are doing positive things for us, okay? Be nice to trans people. How do you know people aren't being nice to trans people, okay? How about this? How about why don't we start to teach trans people to be nice to other people instead of teaching them to be angry at the whole world, which is what you're doing, and you're putting in their ear that everybody hates them, when that's just not the case, okay? People don't like BS, and people don't like liars, they don't like cheaters. I say this all the time. So I don't know where you're hanging out or what you're doing, but where I am and where I come from and 31 years of transition experience, people aren't mean to us, okay? Because you have to educate them. Whether you like it or not, you have to educate the world when you are different. And this new idea that it's emotional labor for you, that's a crock of BS. And that, my friend, is lazy. You do owe it to the world to educate them about who you are when you are different and a minority, so that people can try to understand who you are without feeling a way that they're being ostracized, or if they misgender you, everything is going to turn into a shit show. Okay? So that's what I think about Jeffrey. And I think Jeffrey's just playing this game, and you are actually creating more hate by saying the things you say and some of the stuff you do out there and luring. I'm not going to say it, but you know what I mean. So, hey, Jeffrey, you want to have a conversation with me? I would be really, really happy to have an actual real interview with you and talk about what are your motives, what do you think you're doing to the trans community or for the trans community, and why do you think you represent so much of the trans community? So let's move forward now to the next clip. Oh, gosh, I hope this one doesn't spin you. This one, wow. I mean, I have mixed opinions about, not mixed, I don't have mixed opinions. That's the wrong thing I'm trying to say here. What I have is, I have a lot of concern about this one, okay? So, this one is gonna, probably make some people in the trans community mad, like I care. I don't belong to the trans community anymore. And you're gonna see why. So let me bring this one up next. Here, let's watch this.
Trans journey, the acceptance of myself as a woman, is that as I accept rather than trying to be woman, as I accept myself as not just like I allow myself to self-express and then allow whatever that natural self-expression to be, understand it to me, it feels, and I describe it as not just feminine, but as a woman. What that gives me is a deeper appreciation, like a greater understanding and like a more honed in, finer detail of what all I find attractive about women. For like nearly 30 years, I thought of myself as straight, and then being a woman made me gay, and that I thought I still was only attracted to women.
To me, this man, okay, he's fully male. Let's get that clear. You can actually see this dude is fully male. And somehow he is wanting to be a woman, which fine, I want to be a man. There's nothing wrong with that. But what I see in this particular thing is a huge fetishization of wanting to be a woman. He's fetishizing his body, his movements, the way he's moving around, holding himself in them. That's fetishizing femaleness. Here is one of the big problems that I'm seeing in this new trans space. We all know what AGP is, and if you don't, we can put a definition for you in the description of this video, or you can easily look it up. But there's this new generation of trans, specifically women, who are AGP, autogynephilia, where that means love of self, right? So they're fantasizing about being a woman and sexualizing themselves. He just said it, around being a woman. where let me just show you the difference between an actual transsexual woman who has gender dysphoria, can't even be in the public eye looking like a man. That's why I know this person doesn't have gender dysphoria, because they would never show themselves in this very male form talking about being a woman. That seems more AGP to me. An actual transsexual woman would never do that. They're not sexualizing themselves. They have actual dysphoria where they don't even want you to see them as a man. They only want you to see them as a woman. That's the dysphoria. So we need to start distinguishing the difference between these people here. And in no way am I insulting, okay? I don't want you to think I'm picking on this person or shaming them. It's why I said that before. I'm not. What I'm saying is this is not the same as a transsexual person who wants to transition to look like a woman, or a man, move forward like myself and just be in the world and be this guy. But always acknowledging the fact that I'm not really a man. I'm a female who wants to look like a man. So these people are mixing all of you up out there, and it's also mixing us up with them. And these are causing a lot of the problems of why people don't understand what a real so now we're hearing stuff like transsexuals don't really exist. Trans isn't real. Nobody has gender dysphoria. That's what I'm starting to hear out there, and that's scaring me. Because 100% I exist, and 100% transsexual women and men exist in this world. And we have for a long, long, long time. I'm not going to say always. I'm going to say for a long, long, long time. But when you get people like this misrepresenting the trans community, and same with Jeffrey, then now people look at us like we're all crazy wingnuts. And this stuff is like, this needs to stay in a very specific space, okay? This is a fetishization of women. This is a fetish. This is not gender dysphoria. It is something else. And I really put that there because I'm blown away that this man can sit here and just say all these things about feeling like a woman but looking such like a dude. It just blows my mind because I could never have done that as a woman. Thank God there was no social media. Not that I would have done it. I would have never put myself out on social media as a female, talking about my body and this and looking like a woman and saying that I'm really a man. That just is so confusing, and it just goes against everything gender dysphoria is. So that's why I do these. I keep wanting to reiterate to you, it's why I do these videos, because I cannot have these people be representing me. I feel uncomfortable with it, and it has nothing to do with what I am. That's a fetishization of women, 100%. And with that, thanks so much for watching. Like, subscribe, ring that bell thing, do all those things for me. I do appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for helping build this channel. It means the world to me. And I'll see you guys on my lives, and I'll see you next week, I hope. And have an awesome rest of your day, evening, wherever you are.